he has the ability to put your lights out from three. A great scorer who definitely has to step up tonight in a rivalry game.
The gold for Arizona State and the home whites for the Arizona Wildcats. It is senior night. They honored a big senior class pregame. And the emotions certainly were charged for a number of reasons pregame. Some question if Adam Miller would play for Arizona State. He makes the start, misses the runner, then clutching his midsection. He's been dealing with a hip issue, which was suffered against BYU last week. Is driving to the basket. Anthony Delorso gets the scoring going. And now it appears Adam Miller, after trying to play, is now hobbling to the bench for Bobby Hurley in Arizona State.
Very difficult injury for Miller. Talking about that midsection area, and just one play into the game, he took a shot, wasn't able to get back on defense. Arizona capitalized kind of in a 5-on-4 situation.
That puts Amir Ali in the game quickly for the Sun Devils, and that leaves Bobby Hurley with only 6 scholarship players available now, and the lob over the top to Sean Phillips Jr.
Arizona State comfortable with going with the players they have. Had them a couple nights ago at Utah, and they battled ferociously with just a 7-man lineup.
And it curls in for Tobe Awaka for the Wildcats.
Tobe Awaka on that step in, nearly unstoppable. Arizona always looking to get their big men to step in.
Alston Mason has had a really good year for the Sun Devils. Step back, fall away from the corner, spins out for Bashir Jihad. Corner three. That one's in and out for Anthony Delorso. The transfer from Campbell. Be awesome. Arizona State brings it back the other way with Alston Mason. Sean Phillips Jr. And he was looking for a call, didn't get it. And Arizona the rebound. Caleb Love penetrates. And the rebound up over everybody. And the putback by Tobe Awaka.
Rox, he has done that all season for Arizona. Offensive rebounds, putbacks, just impossible to keep off the glass.
Arizona State has lost their last 2 and 8 of the last 9 games. A depleted roster for the Sun Devils as an open look from 3, too strong from Bashir Jihad. Transition, Jake Bradley, the lob, and the finish by Trey Townsend.
These opening minutes so important to the Arizona State Sun Devils. We talked about their lack of depth. They don't want to get into a track meet with Arizona, an emotional game. They need made buckets.
An open 3 to stroke from Bashir Jihad ends a 6-0 Arizona run.
Just what the doctor ordered. A lot of times on the road, a made bucket is your best friend, allows you to get back on D, quiets the crowd.
Jihad just 29% from 3, but going inside again, Arizona, and Tobe Awaka already with 6.
You see Arizona State staying home on the shooters right now. Tobe Awaka feasting in the one-on-one.
And a foul on Trey Townsend of Arizona.
Arizona, one of the quick hitting offenses in the Big 12. Here you see transition. Get it up for your big man running the court. Trey Townsend, one of the quicker power forwards in the league. And then right here, this is just pick and roll, step in. Toby says, you know what? Take it right to the rim. Big men being aggressive early for Arizona.
All 10 points for Arizona have come into paint to start this game.
And that's a good sign if you're Arizona. They don't want to be out shooting shots early. They want those three-point shots to come naturally. They feel like they have the advantage in the paint.
Bashir Jihad has it stripped out of bounds and will stay with Arizona State in 1.1 on the shot clock for Bobby Hurley's Sun Devils. Bobby Hurley in his 10th season at ASU, the second winningest coach in Sun Devil history. And he's trying to hold this thing together considering they're short on numbers, and Amir Ali didn't recognize there was only 1 second left on the shot clock, and that's an Arizona State turnover. And then Tommy Lloyd tonight with the win for the Wildcats, can become the first coach in Arizona history to have 4 consecutive 20-win seasons to open up his Arizona coaching career.
That's a huge accomplishment for Tommy Lloyd. We're talking about Bobby Hurley and his coaching at Arizona State. He brought intensity back the moment he stepped on campus, and quite frankly, Roxy, he's a magician. What he's been able to do with the decimated roster, the injuries, keeping this team competitive, one of the great young coaches in college basketball.
Alston Mason. There's Sean Phillips Jr. spotting up in the key. Quickly, Arizona brings it back with Jaden Bradley. Caleb Love. That one rims off, and Sean Phillips Jr. the rebound for ASU. The Sun Devils trying to weather that early deficit and push their way back in. Deep three by Amir Ali.
Talked about made buckets on the road. You see the Sun Devil bench up. They love what they're seeing, the fight in the opening minutes. Arizona wanted to come out and try to bury ASU in a rivalry game, but the Sun Devils connecting, keeping the crowd out of it.
Corner three, Trey Townsend for the Wildcats.
Trey Townsend next to Caleb Love, probably one of the best scorers on the Arizona team. Talk about the work he put in at Oakland last year. Right there, showing his range as a stretch 4.
The grad transfer last year was the Horizon League Player of the Year. Getting the start tonight on senior night. He had been coming off the bench recently with Henry Vasar making the starts. Bashir Jihad fouled in the key. We'll get free throws coming up as Arizona
had their question marks about Arizona with their first season in the Big 12. Competing for one of the top 4 spots in the conference is a tremendous accomplishment for him and his staff, and they got a lot to look forward to. We talked to him earlier today, and he felt like the best is yet to come with this team.
And it's been a transition, and it's been an interesting few years around Tucson, considering change in the athletic director, that Tommy Lloyd wasn't hired by Desiree Reed-Francois, who's now the AD. It's been well documented, some financial issues around the University of Arizona, but Tommy Lloyd's been able to navigate it, and Tommy has this program where he wants it to be right now. In terms of at the top of the Big 12 competing, and he knows what it takes to win this challenging league, as a 3 missed by Carter Bryant.
Yeah, and he understands the culture here in Tucson and how the storied history of this program. He embraces it, the challenges that come with it. But most importantly, he's got a group of guys who really understand what they have to bring every day and what the community expects from this team. Games like this, the competitiveness in the Big 12, these are things that Arizona fans believe are just part of the tradition.
Ball away, missing everything from Bashir Jihad, and a foul going for the rebound, and the contact from Sean Phillips Jr. in the first against Arizona State.
And even though that's his first, it has the staff a little concerned because he is the only big for the Sun Devils this evening. So they want to make sure they can preserve him, keep him ready and available. And they'll go with their small lineup right now.
Freshman Trevor Best coming in off the bench has been an amazing story for Bobby Hurley in Arizona State recently. As slipping to the bucket and the lay-in. Henry Vasar off the feed from Caleb Love.
As expected, Arizona takes advantage in the paint with the size of Vasar.
And an answer. Amir Ali from deep again for ASU.
Well, the first one got him going, and right now he's unconscious, knocking down great-looking threes.
Loose ball grabbed by Bashir Jihad. Here comes ASU. Alston Mason in transition. Mason drives, and Mason scores it down low, and Arizona State takes their first lead.
And when your back is against the wall and you've only got 6 players, Arizona State in go mode, fearless. Mason with the coast-to-coast bucket.
Deep three from Caleb Love. And there is Vasar for the rebound for the Cats. Attacking the bucket and the double clutch. KJ Lewis, nice to the bucket for Arizona.
KJ Lewis, the heart and soul of this Arizona club on the defensive end, but offensively, he's a slasher, gets to the bucket.
Love down the lane, tried to drop it off. And the loose ball tracked down. James Bradley right down the key. Players. Adam Miller started this game for Arizona. Didn't play in their loss at Utah on Saturday night. Was injured against BYU last Wednesday. Suffered a hip pointer in that game against BYU. Tried to go out there and battle tonight. He made the start, but did not last a minute and had to leave the game. He will not return for the Sun Devils. So that leaves again Bobby Hurley with only 6 healthy scholarship players, as Bashir Jihad missing, and here come the Cats. "16 of the 19 for Arizona have come in the paint."
They've got a clear mismatch right now. They are in the paint, but it's Jordan Bradley that takes the mid-range jumper.
18 of the 21 for Arizona in the paint. And the Wildcats, who've led by as many as 6, have a 5-point lead. Deep three from Joson Sannon. And there's a whistle and a foul going for the rebound. It's a push on Arizona. Our featured men's college basketball matchups on ESPN this Saturday. #1 Auburn will try to bounce back against #7 Alabama, 2:30 Eastern in a Sonic blockbuster. Followed by these Arizona Wildcats in Lawrence to take on Kansas. And then later in the day, Cooper Flag and #2 Duke visit the D-Dome in North Carolina. With game day also in Chapel Hill. And a full day of college hoops coming up on Saturday. Offensive rebound and the putback, Sean Phillips Jr. And look at these guys, a lot of them, in fact all of them will be in action. Over 2,000 points for all those guys coming up on Saturday, including Caleb Love, who's on the floor right now. And the rebound grab by Bashir Jihad for ASU. Amir Ali has hit a couple of threes already for the Sun Devils, but he traveled, and a turnover on Arizona State. Sun Devils have lost 2 in a row, and in 8 out of 9. Conrad Martinez in off the bench, the sophomore from Spain for the Wildcats. The Sun Devils, who have been battling despite the lack of numbers, as Caleb Love left open for a 3.
Well, the one thing you don't want to do is gamble on Love and come up empty. Easy stroke from the top of the key for Love.
Arizona's matched their largest lead. First points for Love, who's approaching 2,600 career points. Alston Mason answers for ASU.
What an equalizer for the Sun Devils.
The putback. The 7-footer, Henry Basar. And a technical has been handed out. And Bobby Hurley in disbelief.
Shot goes up, not exactly sure what was said, but the officials didn't appreciate the antics and they hit him with a technical.
Caleb Love, one more shot. As Michael Greenstein working with Randy McCall and Marquise Pettigrew, our officiating crew, and it was Michael Greenstein who handed out the technical to Bobby Hurley.
And I gotta say,
it's not the first time Bobby Hurley's gotten a team.
No, and we've seen him, I mean, from 1 to 10, that was maybe a 5 or 6. We've seen him way more animated than that. But clearly something was said that the officials took offense to and they whacked him.
Largest lead for the Wildcats. On Sannon, pressure, and he's fouled by Conrad Martinez.
And if you're Arizona State, that's exactly who you want to have the ball, end of possession situations. He is probably their strongest perimeter player offensively, a guy who can score in bunches, and he'll get to the free throw line on what felt like a must-have possession for Arizona State.
Coming off a career-high 28, Sannon in their loss in Salt Lake City to Utah on Saturday night made 4 of 5 threes. And the highly recruited freshman who reclassified to enroll early at Arizona State after he had committed to Arizona. And then when Caleb Love announced he was coming back to Arizona, the next day Sannon flipped his commitment from Arizona to Arizona State.
You talk about storylines. That is a huge one. Kind of want to show the opposition what they're missing out on. Let that be your motivation.
KJ Lewis on the fall away.
KJ Lewis in constant motion. We talked about him slashing, getting to the rim right there. The nice fadeaway.
Alston Mason. Here's Amir Ali and a three, the third three for the freshman.
Amir Ali single-handedly keeping the Sun Devils afloat from beyond the arc. That was a straight old-school catch and shoot.
Caleb Love answers for Arizona.
Just a matter of time with Caleb Love. You know he has the ability to knock down shots, whether the defender's there or not.
The spin off balance, and Sean Phillips Jr. cleans up the miss from Bashir Jihad. Already 8 for Sean Phillips Jr. AJ Lewis. And a foul going for the rebound, and will stay at this end. And it's on Sean Phillips Jr. of Arizona State. And Arizona's the Wildcats nail a three off the inbound, and Caleb Love. He's got 11 on his second senior night.
Caleb Love starting to take over, put his imprint on this game. You see the ferocious defense out front. Execution by Arizona, baseline inbounds, nice screen. 3-ball corner pocket, Caleb Love, business as usual.
Largest lead for the Wildcats. First foul, by the way, on Caleb Love. Alston Mason rips to the back. ASU down to 6 healthy scholarship players, and Sean Phillips Jr. on the bench with 2 fouls as Alston Mason buries his second three of the game.
From Belgium with Love. Talked to that young man earlier today. Born in Belgium. I played with his father overseas. He is lights out as a point guard right now, leading the way for the Sun Devils.
Hustle play by Jaden Bradley. Here is Love, muscling his way inside, and lost it going up. Josan Sannon took it away.
A lot of contact on that play. Tommy Lloyd irate. Sun Devils in transition.
This match is Bashir Jihad. Wanted to take Jaden Bradley, and now Alston Mason. And the bump up top on Tobe Awaka of Arizona.
Arizona State right here in control. When you've got a great point guard, things are just great. There you see the step back three, nothing but net. And it is so hard because they search out those mismatches and then they attack.
And that's what's keeping Arizona State in this game, is the three. Arizona State has made 6 of 8 outside the arc. Josan Sannon makes it 7 of 9. They're going to say that was a 2. His foot was on the line. Deep 2 for Sannon.
You talk about a guy who can score at will. That is Sannon's game right there. Off the dribble, spot up, in transition. It doesn't matter.
And KJ Lewis sits on the rim and it goes and 1 for Lewis.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. KJ Lewis been automatic getting downhill for Arizona. There you see the twisting reverse layup. Gets it to go. And when KJ Lewis is aggressive, this Arizona team is much different.
First on Trevor Best. Lewis in and out on the free throw, and the rebound grab by Bashir Jihad for ASU. Bashir Jihad spinning. Well defended. And Arizona with the rebound, and they push it with KJ Lewis. Townsend down the lane, and he's clobbered, will get to the line. The first on Bashir Jihad.
Rox, we've seen bodies all over the floor here early. The refs kind of letting them play. We talked about the emotion, the physicality of the rivalry game. And right now, they're only calling the obvious fouls.
81% foul shooter, Trey Townsend. Arizona's a team, 78%. An outstanding foul shooting team. And one more for Townsend. The top two teams in the associational play on ESPN. NBA Wednesday, the Cavs host the Heat at 7 Eastern. Then the Thunder head to Memphis to take on the Grizz. Coverage tips, NBA Countdown at 6:30. Doubleheader Wednesday night. Heat, Cavs, Thunder, Grizzlies. One more for Townsend, who nails both. And his second senior night, as played 4 years at Oakland University for Greg Campy and took advantage of the grad transfer, is now here in the desert in Tucson. Last touch by Arizona.
Rox, important to note, Sean Phillips Jr. has checked back into the game with his second foul. These are things you have to do when you're only 6 deep, because in an ordinary circumstance, he probably wouldn't be on the floor. See if they can take advantage of him, get some production out of him, or can he stay out of foul trouble?
And some of the other injuries for Arizona State, Jaden Quaintance, their outstanding freshman, one of the best shot blockers in America. He's out with a lower body injury. He was injured about a week and a half ago in their win at Kansas State, as Bashir Jihad was fouled going up for a shot. He'll get free throws out of it. But it's not just Jaden Quaintance who's out. Austin Nunez, their backup point guard, tore his ACL. He's out for the year. PJ Freeman was dismissed from the team. As Bashir Jihad at the line for Arizona State. And then Connor Braun, who is a walk-on for ASU. They were hoping to get some minutes from him. He injured his shoulder a few weeks ago. He's not available. And then you throw Adam Miller into the mix, who missed his last game, tried to go tonight, and he, about a minute into the game, was lost for the rest of the night. As Bashir Jihad, fouled on the three, makes all three, and it's a 5-point game.
And to your point, Rox, I've been continually impressed with how competitive this club has been night in and night out in the Big 12. On the road, at home, they fight through every circumstance, and a lot of teams would struggle with those kinds of losses. And right there, Carter Bryant getting the party started with the baseline jam.
And the rebound, here comes Caleb Love as Arizona looking to push it. Love attacks. Tobe Awaka on the offensive glass and a putback.
Tobe Awaka, the biggest man on the floor right now for Arizona.
Corey Williams. But this is not one of those Arizona teams that's a really good outside shooting team.
No, this is a team that definitely struggles from beyond the arc. With the exception of Caleb Love, if he has a hot night, they don't really shoot it well. But the Sun Devils coming on the road with this hot perimeter shooting.
Bashir Jihad, too strong on that one. And Tobe Awaka, the rebound for the Cats.
Very important stretch of basketball if you're the Sun Devils.
Carter Bryant, three.
Roxy, before I mentioned, it's his little sister's birthday today. Sydney, he promised her a big game, off to a great start for the freshman.
7-0 run, largest lead for Arizona. And even though Arizona has made 5 threes tonight, on the season, only 31% from 3 for the Wildcats, who rank 311th in the country in three-point shooting. Is Josan Sanin a tough move for ASU?
You can see why NBA scouts are so high on him. Degree of difficulty, always plays under control. Does not look like a freshman at all.
Now Bobby Hurley throwing a zone at Arizona, something that he doesn't do a lot, but at a necessity, try to protect and keep his guys out of foul trouble.
Great strategy by Coach Hurley to go zone over the final minutes of the half. He has to preserve his guys. There's no secret. They've got 6 players, and you don't want fatigue to set in.
Turnover, a backcourt violation on the Sun Devils. But some of the young guys showing out tonight in this duel in the desert.
We got a great look at possibly some future NBA players, freshmen out here. Carter Bryant knocking down the wide open look, and at the other end, talk about under control, takes it into traffic and finishes over 2 taller defenders. Some outstanding young talent here tonight.
Five on the shot clock for Arizona. KJ Lewis short on the pull-up jumper. The rebound tipped out to Josan Sanin. And ASU takes possession. On the timer for the Devils. Sean Phillips Jr. and one. Strong finish by Sean Phillips Jr. for Arizona State.
What a play by the Sun Devils. They handle the pressure, they make the right pass, and the big fella finishes in traffic. The pick and the roll, beautiful drop pass, and that's just weight room right there, getting it to the rim. And you see the flex and the scream right there in the ear of Toby Awaka, and I don't think that'll be the last we see of these guys doing battle.
Second foul on Awaka, and Sean Phillips Jr. already in double digits. In fact, he's been in double figures now in 5 of the last 10 games for Arizona State, after none previously this season. And he's now got 11, and Arizona State is not going away.
And so very rarely have they been able to play with the double-headed monster of him and Quaintance. You know, both guys going in and out with injuries. But when they have both of those guys, it's amazing how different this club is. But right now, the lone big man having his way here in Tucson tonight.
Off-balance scoop and a tough shot by Jaden Bradley. And a technical on Bradley after the bucket, as he wanted a call. Didn't get it. Said something to Randy McCall, and Randy McCall gave him a technical. That will be a free throw at the other end for Arizona State.
You're going to see Jaden Bradley keep the defender on his hip and then score. But here's the issue. From the time he gets up, he turns and is complaining to the official. And by the time he gets to the top of the key, they'd had enough, and they issued the tech.
One more for Alston Mason shooting the technical free throws. That's also a personal foul for Bradley, his first. As Alston Mason hits both free throws, he's in double figures with 10. And it's an Arizona State ball going back to the point of interruption.
I think the officiating crew tonight sending a message. They don't want to hear it from the coaches or the players early on. And I'm okay with that.
And I guarantee you they were on high alert, Corey, after what happened in the first matchup between these two teams.
No question about it. Things got absolutely out of control. We talk about rivalry games and young people and emotions, but you can't have situations like that.
Alston Mason foul. And it's the second on Jaden Bradley.
That's a tough call right there. Mason gets the ball back on a give and go. Kind of in no man's land, and gets the ball up and draws the foul.
And Mason right back to the free throw line. And the transfer from Missouri State. One more for Alston Mason, who leads Arizona State minutes played this year. Best foul shooter and the most assists for ASU. Bobby Hurley getting Sean Phillips Jr. out to the bench, so he has to pick up his third foul before halftime as Mason nails all 4 free throws and pulls ASU to within 5.
Arizona State has done an outstanding job of keeping the Wildcats out of transition. They've made this a half-court game, and that's why it's only a 5-point affair.
And a whistle and a foul will get Henry Vasar to the line for the Wildcats.
We talked about available players on hand, getting the tempo up. That would be in favor of Arizona, but the Sun Devils making this a grind-out affair.
First on Amir Ali. And Vasar at the line, 71%. UFC 313 Saturday night from Vegas, highlighted by the light heavyweight title fight and Justin Gaethje's return to the octagon. Prelims start at 8 Eastern on ESPN News and ESPN Plus. The main card begins at 10 Eastern on pay-per-view. To order, go to espnplus.com/PPV. We're wondering if we're going to need an octagon for this one after the way the first one went. Bashir Jihad and the rebound, the freshman Carter Bryant, and Arizona looks to push. The best fast break team in the Big 12 as they lead the conference in fast break points. Nobody stepped up to guard KJ Lewis, then drives, and the cleanup from Henry Vasar.
And that's one of those situations where Sean Phillips Jr. just decided not to foul. But Arizona taking advantage in the paint has been the entire story of the first half.
The offensive rebound by Phillips and the kick out. Josan Sanin, too strong on the 3. And the rebound batted free, and Arizona State has it. Amir Ali launching a 3. And another offensive rebound. And a chance for Arizona State. But Alston Mason has his shot blocked. Caleb Love back the other way. And a foul will get into the line with 4.5 to go in the half.
Vasar with the wingspan, cleaning everything up for Arizona. KJ Lewis takes it to the rim, but Vasar slides over. May have gotten away with a little bit of a push. But there you see size taking advantage, and Bobby Hurley still irate with the refs. He felt like there was a lot of contact on Mason's layup, and then the call at the other end for Love.
One more for Caleb Love. The foul was on Josan Sanin. And Love leading Arizona with 12, with 4.5 to go in the half. Caleb Love hits both. And the use it or lose it timeout taken by Tommy Lloyd. And
you gotta.
Dad, let me take it from here.
Exactly. Let me go ahead and see if I have some success. Plenty of time to get a good look here.
Alston Mason, the pull-up 3 at the horn. And a big screen was set on KJ Lewis, who's still sitting near midcourt, finally up on his feet. But that, for a full half of basketball, not commit a turnover.
Arizona very strategic in their approach. The open guy is the shooter. Nobody's trying to do too much, thus no turnovers.
Caleb Love leading Arizona with 13, now give him 16 for the Wildcats lead, all scorers in the game.
Big way to start the second half, trying to push that lead back out, get this crowd into this game. See if the Sun Devils can respond.
Arizona led by as many as 12 in the first half. Josan Sanin on the step back. And the freshman can let everybody sit now in McHale Center as they stand until the visiting team scores.
That young man is a cold piece of work. He is so under control and so smooth.
And a foul will put the Wildcats in the line. Caleb Love with a good start to the second half, though.
Literally indefensible right here. The defender right there, heels on the three-point line. He pulls up anyway, contested three, bottoms. He is a tough out defensively.
Caleb Love in 3 career games against Arizona State, averaging just under 20 points. He's got 16 tonight, and he's been a different player here in Tucson than outside McHale Center.
Well, he's been the leader of this team, and by this point in the season, Roxy, he's seen it all. Jump defenses, boxing one, zones, traps, everything to try to slow him down.
And a whistle off the ball, and it's a foul, a hold on Anthony Del Orso. Second foul on Del Orso. And the first on the Wildcats in the second half. Arizona again to win tonight for Tommy Lloyd's team, and they guarantee themselves a top 4 seed at the Big 12 tournament in Kansas City. And they can get as high as the 2 seed at the Big 12 tournament. Amir Ali, the drop off, and Sean Phillips Jr. spinning inside, and a foul will get Phillips free throws.
It's late, but it's the right call as he got whacked on the arm. Sun Devils doing a great job of unselfish passing, finally get it to the big man.
Third on Tobe Awaka. And Sean Phillips Jr. will shoot 2. 11 points in the first half for Phillips, who was really started to emerge toward the end of the year for Bobby Hurley. Almost out of necessity, because the Sun Devils look over and they know there's no one to check in for them.
I always say it, sometimes less is more. If guys know they're not going to get the hook and they can play through their mistakes, you build confidence, and most importantly, Rox, you build chemistry.
Bobby Hurley has just 6 healthy scholarship players available now. He had 7 at the beginning of the game. Adam Miller started, played about a minute, and the hip injury flared up on him again and not available the rest of the night. So it's just 6 guys available for Bobby Hurley, at least scholarship players. Then he goes to the walk-ons after that. Josan San in a transition 3.
It's like a free throw for him. I mean, you look at his stroke, his ability, and now
the delay of game warning handed out to Arizona State. They got to leave the ball alone once it goes through the hoop, and that's why they were given the delay of game. The next one becomes a technical.
Arizona State cutting this to a 2-possession game after Arizona came out to a strong start with a 3 by Caleb Love.
Trey Townsend. And a block. The foul on Bashir Jihad, his second foul.
Talk about pure shooters. This is what a pure shooter looks like. Balls on the way, straight up and down, wrist, follow through, splash. Sannon, a remarkable shooter from the perimeter. He's just on cruise control.
He got off to a great start this year. Sannon was double figures 8 of the first 9 games. Then he hurt his ankle in early January, missed 5 games, and it took him a little while to find his rhythm again. The last couple of games he has done it. Off balance, tough shot for Caleb Love. Tip free. Arizona keeps it alive, and a foul will get Love to the free throw line as Henry Vasar grabbed the loose ball. And that's the 3rd foul on Sean Phillips Jr. Now keep in mind, Arizona State in their last game against Utah on Saturday in Salt Lake City. The final score was 99-73. The Runnin' Utes ran away from ASU. But Bobby Hurley's team led at the half. They were up 43-41, but then ran in to a buzzsaw in the second half, and frankly limited on numbers because Adam Miller was not available in that game. They had only 6 scholarship players available, and they hit a wall in the second half. Plus a couple of guys fouled out, which meant Bobby Hurley had to bring in some walk-ons.
Yeah, and in Big 12 play, and in all college basketball play, if you have a 4 or 5 minute scoring drought, that will do you in, and that's precisely what happened at Salt Lake City against the Utes. They were hanging tough, but just had 4 or 5 empty possessions, and the game was over.
ASU shot just 29% from the field in the second half, as here comes U of A. Henry Vasar denied by Sean Phillips Jr. Countering the Sun Devils. Bashir Jihad and one.
The Arizona State Sun Devils have come to play. This is a 5-point swing. Sean Phillips Jr. has 3 fouls, but he still goes after this, makes a sensational pin on the glass, and then it's just coast to coast. Jihad with the arm lays it up. Great sequence by ASU.
3rd foul on Jaden Bradley. Bashir Jihad 4 for 5 from the line. And the rebound falls to Trey Townsend for the Wildcats.
Dare I say, maybe a better 3-point shooter than Caleb Love, a guy who could really get it going for Arizona. Knocks down a 3, and here comes that McHale crowd.
Bashir Jihad backing his way in. The block, Henry Vasar coming over. Henry Vasar on the offensive glass, and a putback and one.
Arizona starting to flex its muscle in the paint. The Wildcats too big, too strong. Vasar muscles it up for and one. And you can start to sense this Arizona team taking control of this game.
Back to a double-digit lead. 10 off the bench for Vasar, who started recently, but coming off the bench on senior night. And Arizona has now matched their largest lead of the game.
And to show you how explosive this Arizona team is, it was just a 6-point game a few moments ago. And that lead is doubled.
Reach-in foul, and the contact made by Carter.
For you, me, and everybody at ESPN and all the fans around the country.
He loved this game because of all the offense. I can just hear him now as Alston Mason nails a 3 for Arizona State. Scoring is basketball.
Scoring is basketball. Do you know how hard it was for me to find a tie-dye bow tie?
That is phenomenal work.
Hey, anything for the big guy. Anything for Bill.
And an answer. Henry Vasar, the big man for the Cats.
Got to read the scouting report on Vasar. He can knock down the 3. Big answer as the Sun Devils are trying to get close. Arizona want to stay at double digits.
Alston Mason weaving his way in. Sean Phillips Jr. missing the hook. And the rebound, KJ Lewis. Arizona runs. And Caleb Love, they have taken a finger in the eye. It's the second on Joson Sanin.
KYP, know your personnel. The big man has a 3-ball, putting it on display. I love the reaction of his teammates. They see him make those all the time. They are perfectly comfortable with him pulling the trigger for a 3.
Leading scorers tonight, Alston Mason, 18 to lead ASU. And then Caleb Love in his final home game in an Arizona uniform on his second senior night with 18. Now, again, who knows what the NCAA may do. in terms of giving guys more eligibility. You never know. But I'm going on a limb and saying it's his final home game here in Tucson as a foul and KJ Lewis hitting the deck.
I think that would be a safe bet.
To the line for the Bobcats, number 5, KJ Lewis, shooting 2.
ASU foul, sending KJ Lewis to shoot 2. Lewis 0 for 1 from the line tonight. One more for Lewis. He has 7. He began the year as a starter and then embracing the role of coming off the bench. In fact, he initiated a conversation with Tommy Lloyd, telling his coach that if it's better for the team, I'll come off the bench. You do what you need to do, what's best for this team. And since, he's been coming off the bench and flourishing in that role.
And it's really refreshing when you have a player who's willing to sacrifice for the betterment of the team. His minutes per game haven't changed, but what has changed is the productivity they get from Del Orso and also Carter Bryant getting major minutes in a lot of games, and we've seen his development.
Tough shot from Joson Sannon.
Boy, the hits keep coming with that young man. Off the dribble, one-on-one, he is a handful.
And now the zone for the Sun Devils. Henry Basar, and that's the 4th foul on Sean Phillips Jr. with 13:42 remaining.
Good aggressive take right there by Basar, recognizing the situation defensively, applying that pressure in the paint. That's been the story for Arizona the entire second half.
Bobby Hurley only has really one place to go now that Phillips has 4 fouls. And that's the only other scholarship player available right now. And here comes the freshman Trevor Best.
Don't be surprised if you see a defensive strategy change right here. Maybe they go some zone as well, not having that big lineup.
One more for Vasar. Bobby Hurley's just got nowhere else to turn. Unless he decides to go with a walk-on or two, which we've seen Bobby Hurley Jr. play quite a bit recently. The last 2 games, Trevor Best has really come on for Arizona State as Amir Ali hitting the pull-up jumper. But Trevor Best, number 12 in gold for ASU. He enrolled mid-year. He showed up in Tempe in early January as Bashir Jihad, forcing just the 2nd turnover by the Sun Devils. And there's Best to the basket, misses the dunk, and the loose ball. Here comes KJ Lewis countering for U of A. The scoop over the shoulder, KJ Lewis.
A big turn of events for the Arizona Wildcats. What could have been a breakaway dunk and a momentum builder turns into a sensational play by KJ Lewis.
Bashir Jihad swatted by Henry Basar.
This game's been filled with big plays and momentum swings, but right here, Best goes for the jam and can't put it down. And at the other end, KJ Lewis in the lane, spinning off the glass, high degree of difficulty. He's been slashing Arizona State to pieces all night.
Bashir Jihad gets it back. And fouled, he'll go to the line for the Sun Devils. 2nd on Carter Bryant. Bashir Jihad already tonight 4 for 6 from the line. 9 points, 6 rebounds for Jihad, who last year was among the nation's leaders in fouls drawn per game. And he has that ability to get to the foul line, draw contact. One of the strengths of his game for Bashir Jihad.
He's got size, the wingspan, good perimeter shot. Great on the glass as well.
It's both free throws. 5 Sun Devils in double figures now. KJ along the baseline.
Beautiful find by Caleb Love. Unselfish play.
Bashir Jihad. The emphatic slam for Jihad.
Big basket right there for the Sun Devils. They refuse to go quietly. Good ball movement.
Left open. Henry Basar rims out the three, but the rebound tipped Anthony Delorso, and a reload for the Wildcats. How about that move from Anthony Delorso? By himself underneath the lane for Alston Mason.
Little defensive breakdown there by the Wildcats. Once again, the Sun Devils taking their time, using the possession, getting good looks.
Caleb Love missing the three, and Basar, and a foul going for the rebound, a push on Arizona. Dean Dome, that Saturday night tilts. Cooper Flag and Duke making the 8-mile trek over to the Dean Dome to take on Hubert Davis and the Tar Heels. And right now, Joe Lunardi has North Carolina as the first team out of the field. Stripped. Bashir Jihad will get to the line. Right back to the stripe for Jihad, who's already shot 8 free throws in the game. And the third on Carter Bryant.
Well, we just got through mentioning his ability to rebound the ball, and right there it's on display. Second effort. We give the Sun Devils a chance to get two at the line.
And the latest edition of bracketology, by the way, Joe Lunardi has Arizona as a 4 seed. And the Wildcats 19-10 in search of win number 20 tonight. Trying to secure a spot as a top 4 seed. A win tonight guarantees them a top 4 seed in the Big 12 tournament.
And Roxy, when you look at this Arizona team, you can't be deceived by their record. They have one of the most difficult strength of schedules in the nation. They haven't ducked anybody, and they've taken a couple of bumps and bruises along the way.
A net ranking of 10 for the Wildcats.
So the numbers speak for themselves. They're playing everybody, where some guys may have nice, fancy records, but the tournament will tell the full tale here soon.
A trip on KJ Lewis. And the first foul on Lewis, and ASU is in the bonus here with 10:17 to go on a 1-and-1. Number 24, Arizona, getting a battle tonight from their in-state rivals. And you knew ASU would come down here and try to give Arizona everything that they had.
Right now, if you're the Sun Devils, the strategy could change slightly. You're in the bonus for the final 10 minutes of the game, so now all contact is free throws. We'll see if they try to penetrate and attack and get to the line.
One more for Amir Ali. 76% foul shooter as Bobby Hurley Jr. just checked out after a brief appearance and just needing to spell somebody for a couple of minutes. Yeah, he earned that sip of water over there on the bench. But he's had to play a little bit recently, considering ASU is so short on numbers. He graduated last spring, came back for 1 more year, played for his father. And ASU hanging in there, down 6. Jaden Bradley draws contact, will get to the line. ASU foul is on Bashir Jihad, his third.
Jaden Bradley's so good at drawing contact, getting to the free throw line, especially in the second half. He tends to take over.
2 shots for Bradley, and just as we were talking about Bobby Jr., he's back at the scores table, checking in for the Sun Devils. And now he returns as Jihad will get a breather here. A really small lineup right now for Bobby Hurley, with Amir Ali, the tallest player on the floor. He's got 3 freshmen, including Best, who showed up mid-season on the court right now. And then Bobby Hurley Jr., former walk-on, and Alston Mason. Mason drives the drop-off to Amir Ali. And the rebound, Tobe Awaka. Here comes Arizona. The lob. KJ Lewis pushed in the back, and will get free throws.
One of the few times Arizona's been able to get a look in transition. A good lob, trying to apply that pressure to the Sun Devils in transition. They've got the bigger lineup out there.
Third on Amir Ali. Here's KJ Lewis. Just 1 for 3 at the line tonight, shooting 2. One more for Lewis. He's got 12. Averaging 10.5 a game off the bench. Tommy Lloyd, another win tonight for Arizona, and Lloyd becomes the first Arizona coach to begin his tenure as the head coach at U of A with consecutive seasons of 20 or more wins, 4 in a row.
And that's an outstanding accomplishment given the pressure that comes with this job.
Amir Ali blows the layup, and Arizona comes away with it. Tobe Awaka, and the foul on Bobby Hurley Jr. And that'll put Awaka at the line for the Wildcats.
It was just a matter of time before the Arizona Wildcats searched out and found Tobe Awaka. He's the biggest player on the floor right now. The Sun Devils have no answer for him inside.
8 points, 6 boards. Awaka 4 for 4 from the floor. Misses the first of 2 shots, a 67% foul shooter. The transfer from Tennessee is Sean Phillips Jr. coming back here with 9:17 to go, and his 4 fouls. And Bobby Hurley knowing that the game is starting to slip and he can't let Arizona State fall further behind.
That is absolutely the thought process right now. You've got an 11-point game. You got to roll the dice, put your big man back out there, and hope your team can start to make some plays.
Way out top, the foul, the 4th on Tobe Awaka, and ASU will step up to the free throw line.
The challenge for Arizona over these final moments, can they defend without fouling? Arizona State will be very, very deliberate in their ability and their attempts to try to get in the lane, force the issue, and get to that free throw line.
1-and-1 for Josan Sanin. 71% foul shooter, the freshman. 1 for 2 of the line tonight. And one more for Sanin, coming off that career best 28 against Utah in Salt Lake City Saturday night. Started the last 3 games now for Bobby Hurley. Sanin hits both. Nine-point Wildcats lead. Backdoor and the flush, Caleb Love.
Beautiful play design by Arizona. They've run that multiple times this year.
And back the other way. Alston Mason for the Sun Devils.
Mason just taking exception, finding mismatches, blowing by defenders, getting to the lane. Huge game for him.
Underneath the slam, Henry Basar by himself.
Well, actually, that's the pressure Arizona puts on you. You can't stop everything. Failure to rotate, easy 2 for Arizona.
17 for Basar, 2 off a career high of 19 earlier this year against Baylor. Josan Sanin denied by Basar. The kick out to an open 3. And the stroke, Trevor Best.
Well, you got to give the Sun Devils a ton of credit right there. 2 big plays that almost got the crowd going, and they knocked down another 3.
10 threes for Arizona State tonight. Pull-up jumper in the key from Jaden Bradley. Wildcats at 59% from the field tonight. $18 assists, just 2 turnovers, but they lose Sean Phillips Jr. for the dunk.
Throw it down, big man. Shout out Bill Walton.
Out of bounds, and it stays with Arizona. 6:54 to go in this high.
And I can tell you that shot still stings when you talk about rivalries. Arizona fan bases remember that. And that's why they like to be a little bit more comfortable with what's going on right here.
And a foul, and it's on KJ Lewis. As the pass intended for Lewis was short from Jaden Bradley, and Alston Mason coming over like he was playing for Kenny Dillingham.
Yeah, well, free safety
An interception right there, and he drew the foul. Second on Lewis. And in the double bonus, 2 shots for Alston Mason. 22 for Mason tonight. His season high is 26 against, of all teams, Houston.
That's tough. Houston is a great defensive team, and you put up those kind of numbers against a club like that, that's quite an accomplishment.
His career high while playing for Missouri State was 36 against Drake. But here comes Arizona State again. Just when it appeared Arizona might put him away, it's down to 6.
Got a 2-possession game, and Arizona State going to their 2-3 zone.
And just the 4th turnover of the night, all in the second half for the Wildcats. Inside 6.5 minutes. Josan Sanin finds Alston Mason in the corner for a 3, and it's a 3-point game. Season high 27 for Mason. And a timeout. And Arizona State has made it really interesting. Approaching 6 minutes to go in Tucson.
Braxton, you got to tip your hat to the coaching job by Coach Bobby Hurley and his staff.
Henry Basar goes to work down low.
Big bucket for Arizona right there to kind of quiet the run. But who else? You can't play for the great Mike Krzyzewski and not learn a few things about basketball. He comes in here with 7 players, loses 1 in 10 seconds, but yet here we are in the final moments. He's got 6 players within striking distance of top-ranked Arizona.
Sean Phillips Jr. missing the hook, and the rebound, Tobe Awaka for Arizona.
If you're Arizona, you want to attack the paint. It's been your friend all night. Getting to the rim, being physical.
Henry Basar missing a 3. Awaka, the offensive rebound, and a hard fall. And the foul, if that's on Bashir Jihad, he is fouled out of the game. So now Bobby Hurley is down to 5 healthy scholarship players as Bashir Jihad fouls out with 15 points and 7 rebounds. And now Bobby has to turn to the freshman Trevor Best, who just enrolled at Arizona State in January. And Best, until last Wednesday against BYU, in 5 games had played a total of 9 minutes. Then he went out and scored 18 against BYU last Wednesday night. 1 more for Awaka.
Yeah, he's a hidden gem. Talking with Coach Hurley, so excited about his offense and his ability to score. And he finally kind of got uncorked a couple of games ago, and he'll be out here for the remainder for sure. Can the Sun Devils continue to make plays and try to draw closer to Arizona?
ASU cut it to 3. The Cats have pushed it out to 7, and Henry Basar pulls it down. The Cats attack in transition. KJ Lewis. Timeout, Arizona.
Shooting the ball at a high percentage.
Arizona State, again, just 5 scholarship players available. Amir Ali missing a 3, and the rebound, Lewis fouled by Alston Mason. And actually, it could be a good foul for Arizona State, considering K.J. Lewis would have been off to the races.
Yeah, K.J. Lewis had a guaranteed 2 points. Instead, it'll be some free throws.
Featured men's college basketball matchups on ESPN this Saturday. #1 Auburn looking to bounce back as they host #7 Alabama, 2:30 Eastern, followed by #24, these Wildcats in Lawrence, Kansas, taking on the Jayhawks at Allen Fieldhouse. And a sonic blockbuster from the Dean Dome as Duke and Carolina, Cooper Flag and #2 Duke make the 8-mile trek over to Chapel Hill. As Bobby Hurley Jr. comes back.
Talking with Caleb Love before the game, and you played in that Duke North Carolina game, and you played in the Arizona State game. I said, is the intensity similar? And he just smiled and politely said, it's a little more intense, that Duke North Carolina. And I can live with that.
8-0 run for the Wildcats. Josan Sanin, and it's blocked, but a foul is called that will send Sanin to the line for Arizona State. Third on K.J. Lewis. Sanin 3 for 4 at the line, shooting 2. 14 points for the freshman. One more for Sanin. And it's a 10-point game.
And right now, the challenge for Arizona State, can they get stops? 4 minutes left in this affair. They're going to need to try to get some kind of momentum.
Caleb Love. Sean Phillips Jr. out there with 4 fouls after Bashir Jihad is already fouled out for ASU. And that's the 5th on Phillips, and he is fouled out. And now Arizona State. All right, SVP coming up with SportsCenter after we're done here in Tucson. As Caleb Love shooting technical free throws after Sean Phillips Jr. fouled out. He's called for his 5th foul. As he was walking toward the Arizona State bench, he was using a profanity-laced tirade toward our officiating crew. And he was assessed a technical foul on his way to the bench. So those were the technical free throws shot by Love, and now K.J. Lewis, who drew the 5th personal on Phillips, will get the common foul free throws. And at times we have seen emotions get the better of Sean Phillips Jr. throughout his career at Arizona State and previously at LSU. And K.J. Lewis missing the 1st. Wild night in college basketball, as SVP was talking about, and that ball game in Ames at Hilton Coliseum tonight, where BYU blew a huge lead and then in double overtime had enough to beat Iowa State. Those 2 teams were tied for 4th, right behind Arizona and Texas Tech.
Man, when you look at the box score for that game, they're not supposed to win with that many turnovers and having blown that lead, and that win for the Cougs defies logic.
And keep in mind, the top 4 teams get buys into the quarterfinals all the way until Thursday at the Big 12 tournament. As it rattles and goes, Henry Basar, a career high, 22, as the Cats have broken the century mark.
He has been the X factor tonight. Plays like that have made all the difference. Like I said earlier, when he delivers a big game, Arizona is tough to handle.
Largest lead of the night for Arizona inside the final 3 minutes. And it's last touched by the Wildcats, 9 on the shot clock. And so for ASU, with Bashir Jihad and Sean Phillips Jr. fouling out, Adam Miller, who was injured within the 1st minute of this game, has not returned and is not coming back for ASU tonight. So Bobby Hurley has just 4 scholarship players available, and Bobby Hurley Jr. makes it 5 on the court for the Sun Devils.
Difficult circumstances for the Sun Devils, but that's kind of been the story with them for the majority of the season. Injuries, players out. Coming to this fierce rivalry battle with just 7 guys in uniform, and gotta say, put together quite a game, a lot of big plays, just toughness and grit on behalf of the Sun Devils.
30 for Alston Mason. And now a season best 31 as Mason a perfect 8 for 8 from the line.
You can't say enough about him right now. Mason having to match up against Besar.
Way off of that 3. But Tobe Awaka on the offensive glass out-muscles the Sun Devils. Now, will Besar try to claim he was banking it? That was a pass off the board to Awaka now?
I'm not buying it. Besar misses everything, but Tobe Awaka with a 25-pound weight advantage over everybody on the floor. Just a man among boys, powers it back to the rim. He's had a monster game for Arizona. And the approach for the Wildcats tonight, the inside out, as they now at 104 points, it's been very effective. Tommy Lloyd and his staff emphasizing that size advantage. It's been the difference tonight.
14 for Awaka. The largest lead for the Wildcats tonight. And the freshman, the second 3 for Trevor Best.
Talked about Best, his explosive play, his offensive capabilities. One of those guys who's going to be a very good player in years to come.
And they go after Bobby Hurley Jr. and a foul will send Awaka to the line. 2:11 to go. 105 points for the Wildcats and Henry Besar, a career-high 22 for the Arizona big man.
Well, it started early. Arizona finding him in opportunities. He knocked down a couple of threes. The pick and roll, he was always open. But he's played both ends of the floor. Block shots, offensive rebounds, getting out on the break. He's been an impact player for Arizona. And you like to see a guy like that have a complete game because he will be counted on, especially next week in the Big 12 tournament. Besar, an effective big who can stretch the floor. Everything's been on display tonight for him.
Before they get to Kansas City in the Big 12 tournament, Arizona will be in Lawrence, Kansas on Saturday at Allen Fieldhouse to take on Bill Self's Jayhawks. Well, ASU will wrap up the regular season at home and get a terrific Texas Tech team in Tempe. Alston Mason to the bucket.
But Mason has just been completely unstoppable tonight. But that's just not a Bobby Hurley club. They fight tonight, no different.
And the foul's on Best. And Carter Bryant will go to the free throw line at the other end. For Arizona, this is the Big 12 tournament bracket as of right now. And Arizona would be the 3. The tiebreaker would go to Texas Tech as they split the regular season meetings. But because Texas Tech has a win against Houston, they go down the list from the top to the bottom to break up the ties. And with Texas Tech's win over Houston, that would give them the edge over Arizona. That's why the Red Raiders would be the 2 and the Wildcats be the 3. Both free throws nailed by Carter Bryant. Bobby Hurley Jr. And the pass broken up. Joson Sannon recovers it and hits the jumper.
Arizona State trying to scramble and set some pressure, trying to create a turnover.
Nelson Mason does and gets it to Bobby Hurley. A steal for Mason. Joson Sannon too strong on the 3. And Carter Bryant the rebound. And a foul on Hurley. And the 3rd on Bobby Jr. Has come off the bench now each of the last 3 games for Arizona State. because they've needed bodies.
Yeah, it's been all hands on deck for the Sun Devils.
Jade Bradley shooting 2. And the top defenders in the Big 12. Jade Bradley for this Arizona team has taken over that starting role alongside Caleb Love in the backcourt for Tommy Lloyd.
And I don't think that gets talked about enough when you talk about Jaden Bradley. Every night he draws tough defensive assignments and plays a ton of minutes for Coach Tommy Lloyd. Always 35 plus, sometimes almost the whole game. He stays out of foul trouble, but he applies defensive pressure.
Second foul on Caleb Love. And free throws for the Sun Devils, who are trying to get to the century mark on this trip to the basket, or to the foul line for Shannon.
You know, knowing Coach Tommy Lloyd the way that I do, if the Arizona comes out of here with the win, he'll be happy with the win, but not so happy with the almost possibly 100 points scored by the Arizona State Sun Devils in McHale Center. I think defensively he would have liked to seen a better effort, but as the young folks say, a win is a win.
We've had a combined 70 free throws attempted in this game. Final minute at McHale. You just wonder, because the way the first game transpired between these two teams, is KJ Lewis left open for a 3. And a timeout for subs for Tommy Lloyd.
Right here, you see Tommy Lloyd communicating with Bobby Hurley, letting him know his intention to get guys in.
And this is Grant Whiteman, the senior, the Tucson native, one of the walk-ons, a fifth-year senior. He could have played. He had offers to go to other schools and transfer. But Whiteman wanted to stay here at Arizona because I love basketball, but I love Arizona basketball more. And they put him on scholarship this semester.
An amazing story. Shows you what this program means to young men who get involved in it in this community here in Tucson. Right now, no one has left the arena all on their feet.
He went through senior day last year and started. And there was a conversation with Tommy Lloyd, and as the walk-ons are on the court right now, as you also have Addison Arnold on the floor, Luke Champion, Will Manaugh, and also Tommy Lloyd's son, Liam. And they were talking about if they were going to start the seniors and some of the walk-ons tonight. Trevor Best missing a 3, the rebound grabbed by Luke Champion. And this is Liam Lloyd, Tommy's son. And Grant Whiteman said, look, I did that last year. I'm not starting again. I'm good. And then Liam Lloyd, to have fun and poke fun at Mark Few and Gonzaga, where Tommy Lloyd spent 21 years at the right hand to Mark Few, and says, I don't need to be like Joe Few. I'm good. I'm coming off the bench.
Nobody wants to be on a poster.
And that's a shot clock violation, a turnover, and it goes to Arizona State. Here with 1.2 remaining in the game. But the Wildcats will get to 20 wins under Tommy Lloyd in each of his first 4 years as the Arizona head coach, becoming the first Arizona coach to accomplish that. You think of the great coaches. You played for Lute Olson. The great work that Sean Miller did here. Tommy Lloyd becomes the first Arizona coach to have 20 or more wins in each of his first 4 years.
An outstanding benchmark for Coach Lloyd and this program.